April 2022 is going to be the craziest month of the year. And it's hard to believe that because we've had some craziness so far, haven't we? Well, unfortunately, things are going to continue to increase. The pressure is building. Some of the biggest ascension energies hitting right now. These are paradigm shifting, life-changing energies, DNA activations, light body upgrades. It's all happening right now. You're probably feeling many ascension symptoms. There were 17 solar flares that blew off the sun the other day. We're now being hit by a double CME. This consists of a cannibal CME that was a monster, fast-moving one that gobbled up another one on its way to Earth. We're now being hit by two of those all at once. A powerful X-ray solar flare as well today. So much going on. And that need to change. So April is also going to be huge releases of the old and bringing in of the new. So those of us, and all of you watching this video, you are in the ascending timelines. So we're going to start seeing, with all this increase of energy, right? After we can integrate it into our physical bodies, we're going to start seeing some glimpses of magic happening. We're going to start seeing a lot more results from all the effort that we've been putting in of the healing, the purging, right? The non-stop leveling up. It just never ends. April is going to start really allowing you to start seeing not only what needs to be let go of, but also you're going to start seeing those glimpses of beginnings happening. So it's going to be exciting. If you're in the ascending timelines, of course, we have a massive group of people in the world, right? The majority of the people that unfortunately are in the descending timeline currently. Descending really means moving away from the core. Now, when people are moving into descension, that really means more chaos. So as you've been seeing the chaos in the world, it's going to continue to amplify. It hasn't even begun because we have to see all these old structures really break apart at the core level in order for us to rebuild a whole brand new society, a whole world based on different values, different ethics. Right? Based on unification, not separation, and fear, and greed, and control. So unfortunately, a lot of people are going to be experiencing an acceleration of the chaos. And that's, like I said, if you're moving into descension timelines of fear and obsession with AI, all the things that are moving out of your alignment from your soul. If you are completely guided from your ego mind, your head, you're typically going to be, right, swaying with the wind. Whenever something comes up, you're going to be reacting to it. So again, ascension is never about being perfect. It's about a constant progression. So know that you have to have those purge moments. You have to have those crazy moments, those, where you are crying hysterically or raging, or your physical body is breaking down in order to restructure itself. So know that that is the process of ascension. So it's never about being perfect, but it's about, over time, over many years, perfecting your own energy, which allows you to then move into a reality out there, right? When you shape-shift your internal, your outside automatically shape-shifts. So that's why we don't need to focus on the outside world. Know that the ridiculousness is going to amplify. Okay, so anyone that's wondering when things are going to get back to normal, it ain't happening ever again. Because we are going to continue to see the disclosure of events, of things going on in the outside world. And it doesn't mean that, right, even though we are going to be seeing a lot of destruction and chaos, and again, it typically won't be in your own internal world, right, in your own little bubble here, unless you have been ignoring your own issues. So if we've been kind of tuning out, we need to change, but we don't really want to, and we've been stalling it, or, not looking at our own things, then April is going to be a time where it's going to be right here in the forefront for you to know, okay, this is an indication I need to let go of this habit, let go of this mindset, this old limiting belief. Now, know that April is going to be crazy for a bit, right? We have to integrate all these energies that we just received, and we're going to continue to receive over this month. But as we get to mid and the end of April, we're going to start seeing more magic happen. Okay, so it's not all bad, but we do have to go through those ups and downs, right? Because that's how we integrate, right? We get that activation, that blast of light, and then it has to be integrated. And we need to then realign ourselves to the new us that we have been building from within. So that involves changing mindsets, changing routines, maybe letting go of jobs or relationships or habits. It's never fun, right? It's really one of the hardest parts next to Ascension symptoms is the realignment of our entire life that has to happen. And that happens right over time. So don't think you have to just, right, drop everything this month and go live on the streets. No, it's not about that. It's about systematically, right? It's very easy to know what we don't want. And that's really the key. What we don't want is going to be blaringly obvious, right? What is unaligned is going to be more obvious in order for us to know what the opposite of that is, what we want, right? Because a lot of us don't know what we want, but we do know what we don't want to have in our life. And it's all the things that we built up, most of us throughout our life, right? That have to change, that have to let go. So that's actually one of the best ways to maneuver the changes right now is to, okay, you know what you don't want in your life, go the opposite direction, right? Do the opposite. So it's going to be a lot of those endings and new beginnings. So you're going to be seeing magic happen if you're in that ascension timeline, because we are moving into the core. Now, when we move into the core, we move into deeper unification of all aspects of self. Our heart will start aligning with our mind, right? Our life out there will start aligning to the new person, that new diamond that you're becoming from within. So, but again, we have to go through the purging cycles, right? And it's never done because healing's never done too. It's a spiral. So, but this month we should be starting to see some glimpses. If you're doing, if you've been doing the work, if you've been really, trying to focus on purifying your physical body, on being more in your heart, being more open to change, right? Because if you're grasping on to anything that's not aligned, it's going to be getting more amped up. And that's really because we are accelerating right now. This month is like pedal to the metal. Now, if you're moving into chaos and you're accelerating into chaos, that's where life is not going to be fun. Because those that are in that descending timeline, in fear, there's going to be no shortage of fear propaganda fed to us like they've always done, right? So it's going to be very easy to get your attention onto the next thing. You notice how last month there was a change, right? For the last 2 years, we've been fed the same type of fear propaganda. Now, all of a sudden last month, it was a whole new thing. Now, that's going to continue, right? They could be now focusing on the financial system or other things to really get people's attention, and, right, they want to take your consciousness. So if you watch my other video, how they, try to get you stuck in these loops. So I have a whole video on that. And they, right, that's these controllers that are trying to set upon their plan for world domination, right? That's not, right, this is no longer just a theory. This is, we can just look around, and it's been implemented constantly over the past, right, 100 years even. So well before the past 2 years. We're just in the change right now. So know that we are in the middle of the biggest change and transformation on the planet in this area of the multiverse. It's no small thing, right? So, which is why you're probably at that breaking point. And now hopefully you're feeling like you're ready to break through. So again, rest, right? Do all the things you need to do, but know that this month is finally going to be that time where you're going to start seeing little glimpses of hope, little glimpses of magic happen. But again, if you are completely, right? So none of you, because typically if you're watching this video, you've been guided, you've been doing some work. But for the vast majority of people in the world that are still kind of living in that chaos, when you're accelerating into more chaos further from your core, now, if you're completely, you have your entire consciousness plugged into those lower timelines and they're collapsing, it's going to mean that everything in your life is going to be collapsing as well. So know that it's about you plugging in to higher timelines, which means getting your frequency up. It's all about your frequency. You can do that in various ways, like I've been talking about for many videos, right? Getting your body purified, being more in your heart, doing your shadow work, all the different ways, right? And naturally too, all these solar flares are purifying and purging the body. But you want to be not just rocked by it, right, in the worst ascension symptoms ever. Instead, you want to try to work with the transformation happening, which means listening to your inner guidance, listening to your body. What does your body need from you right now? Does it need you to rest? Does it need you to stop, right, focusing on all the negative stuff? Because it's going to be that breaking point this month where you are going to be changing. We're also leading into the eclipse season, which is always major endings and major rebirths. So that's going to be more near the end of the month. But until then, we got to kind of ride this wave of craziness. So know that it's all about you getting so deep within your core that you are in that 0 point. That's like being in the eye of the storm, right? The storm could be going off, trees could be flying around everywhere. People could be in chaos out there, right? But it's not going to be in your own internal life. So know that a lot of that stuff that we see on the news is not in your reality at all. It's not in your timeline. So if you're feeling that need to constantly be focusing on that, really, that needs to shift, because whatever you focus on, you are energizing. And a lot of us, go many years where we just need to know the next gossip. We just need to know what's going on in the world because it makes us feel safer for some reason, right? But it doesn't. That's a wound in you that doesn't feel safe, that needs to know, right, more things at its level, which is quite a dense consciousness. So it's going to be quite a few changes happening in your own personal life this month for the good, right? And if there's things that you haven't been looking at, some things will drop away, because naturally we are in acceleration times right now. April's going to be the craziest month ever, which means you need to focus on self-care, focus on you. We can tune out of the craziness and get ourselves to a different timeline where that craziness doesn't exist. Like after many years of me going through this work, right? In my personal life, I don't experience any craziness. But if I tune into the TV or something and I see all that going on, I'm like, whoa, right? But that's been a long progression. At first, when we first wake up, we have to go through that dark night of the soul. So that's, of course, what's happening in the world. We're having a worldwide dark night of the soul, which is really that worldwide awakening. And if you've been on this journey for a long time, the beginning is always going to be that when you wake up, it's all the heaviness, right? Because when you wake up, you're experiencing those lower frequencies. The lower frequencies are all the ones you don't like, all the ones, the anger, the fear, the worry, the hopelessness, the depression. Well, the collective is experiencing that worldwide awakening, which involves some sudden realizations about the world and about your life and about what you've been doing, right? So again, allow yourself to shift this month. Really be willing to let go. Let go of any mindset. Literally let go of the attachment to your own identity. Because that's really how we really progress, especially in Ascension. We're literally becoming cosmic consciousness. We're plugging into the multiverse, which means we have to be willing to let go of little me, right? So you're not going to be just dissolved. What's happening is you're going to, right, the Ascension process is about you healing and integrating all these lost aspects of your fractal soul. And it goes on, right, for many dimensions that we are activating and integrating. So you are becoming whole. Now it takes many years. So this month is going to give us opportunities to let go of all those old identities of ourselves that we've been holding on to. We have to be willing to let go of everything, and especially our own identity, because it really holds us back, right? Our story from the past. So when you're able to accelerate into your core and you start spinning faster, what happens is you start moving away from the ability to perceive these outside timelines, these lower timelines. Because lower, right? We can think of lower as being down here, but it's really further away from the core of your universal time spiral, your own spiral. So you want to be in the center core, because what happens is then what you want starts coming into your life, and what you don't want, like I said, when you make those changes and you move away from what you don't want and you get your vibe up, especially when you get your vibration up, because it automatically starts happening. We start moving so deep within ourselves, we spin so much faster, that the ability to literally perceive those terrible realities that we're fed all day long on the news, those move away from our ability to even observe. So it's like, you know, almost like this camera, right? This is our reality field. When we're going so deep within the core, the realities out here are no longer able to be perceived by you. So that's why Ascension is so key, right? So it's not about pretending and tuning out. I had in the last video about why we can't just tune out from the darkness, because the darkness is how we heal, right? A lot of people kind of, you know what, I'll talk about it in a separate video about knowing when it's time to really zone in on that darkness, and other times that we just release it and go within and worry about our light and our love. Because it's really all depending on where you are on your journey, because sometimes we need to be focusing on that darkness. But this month is not one of those months, so know that. This month is a month to focus on the magic. We also have an astrology transit that hasn't happened since 1856. We have Jupiter and Neptune, both in their home sign at Pisces. So again, it hasn't happened in over, 165 years or something. So now that is giving us creative, dreamy, almost like life reset, like excitement for life, blissful feelings, kind of trippy vibes even. So this month could be a really, especially with all the light coming in, you could be really feeling almost like tripped out, like high. And then you can also experience the lows, right? So know that if you're in one of those lows, don't worry about it, right? I know a lot of people always ask me, you know, because a lot of people, you know, put on that facade that everything's amazing, right, on social media. So if you're not feeling that, you think something's wrong with you, but that's not it. You're just going through a purge cycle. The key is not to be locked into a purge cycle, feeling low for months or years, right? Get the energy out of you. Get yourself flowing again. It's all about releasing. So you can release through exercise, through breath work, through yoga, meditation. There's so many different ways. Cleansing the physical body, right? And know that a lot of us are sensitive to all the energies of everybody else. So you're going to be feeling a lot of the collective chaos if you are more in these chaotic outside timelines, a lower timeline. So it's really about allowing yourself to let go of other people's stuff, right? Let go of other people's journey, right? We have to let go of needing to wake everybody up, because really you have to understand that other people have their own journey. They might need to hit rock bottom 10 times to then decide to come out of it, right? And it's not up to you to wait around or to, you know, try to save everybody. Trust me, I did that for years, and it's exhausting and it gets you nowhere, because we ascend ourselves. When we are in our core, we shine our light and other people receive those templates, they level up. And they'll also start coming to you. Wouldn't it be nice if people come to you and ask you for your opinion instead of you trying to force your opinion on somebody else? It makes life so much easier, trust me. I finally got to that level now here with all you guys, you know, all of you amazing awakened souls, that, you know, I finally feel that I'm at home, that I, you know, have found my soul family members, right? All of you that are actually in alignment with me, versus me trying to, right, speak my truth to people that don't want to hear it. Well, what happens is the more you go into your inner core, those people fade out of your life, literally. You don't see them anymore. And you don't have a need to see them, so you don't have a need to try to, you know, save everybody. You start worrying about you and loving yourself, because really when you love yourself, right, this is like one of the biggest really myths in spirituality and ascension, is about always giving back and helping other people. You do that, but first you have to worry about you, right? First we have to worry about doing our own inner healing. Then we have the energy, right? Then we are that cup that is overflowing Now we can also now start helping others. But if you're always giving of yourself and always worrying about everybody else out here and you're ignoring your own needs, it gets you nowhere, right? So it's about you this month. Worry about you. Really focus on, right, if you feel that for a while you've been feeling that need to change, this is the month to start making those changes big time. Jump all in this month. Again, don't get yourself homeless, right? Don't be crazy about it. Follow that inner guidance. But if you know what the first step is, take it, okay? Really, this is the month of magic. Also craziness, right? So craziness for people that are not in alignment, right? We're seeing it happen even, right? The polished celebrities are even slapping each other out, right? So we're seeing egos flaring left and right. It's going to continue. The key is for you to worry about you. Get it so deep within your core that you are so solid, you are literally pulling down a higher timeline. You're in a higher timeline. And you're not attached to anything out here. That's where then life gets amazing, gets magical and amazing, right? It takes a bit of time, but this month we're going to start seeing glimpses of hope, of magic. Really start following through with your own internal guidance, because you will be flown, you will be guided exactly where you need to be. And things are going to continue to accelerate as well, especially the crumbling of the old systems, which I talked about in many videos, so check them out if you haven't already. And really try to start moving away from the outskirts of your life and moving into the core. This is the month it's going to be crazy, but also crazy magical. Please share the video. Don't forget to like and comment and subscribe and hit the notification bell. If you guys need more help, I have a course, Ascension Magic, that I talk about many different things on many levels. And you can sign up for that on my website, EARTH1111.com. And don't forget to subscribe. I think I already said that. Anyways, I'm Roxanne. Thanks so much, you guys. We'll talk to you very soon. Love ya. Bye.